Have you ever stopped to think that always being connected, responding instantly to everything, is not only detrimental to your productivity, but also to your well-being? As Epictetus said, the central idea lies in persisting and resisting. This means discerning between what is truly essential, what we should keep doing, and what we need to resist. In other words, stop doing. I'd like to explore a bit more about what the Stoics avoid, habits that perhaps you should consider abandoning. There are more than just 8 points to consider, so let's delve into this idea so that nothing escapes our attention. However, in this video, we'll only address the 8 main points. So I've gathered 8 important points that you should stop doing. I recommend sticking around until the end so that you don't miss anything. First point, fear not the change. Understanding change as a constant in life is one of the fundamental pillars for Stoic mentality. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the importance of not fearing change. He expresses that all things are born from this movement and that many of life's most significant moments are a direct result of it. Facing change with courage and adaptability is a hallmark of a Stoic. Imagine life's panorama as a river in constant flow, where each bend brings new landscapes and challenges. Stoics understand that life is like this, a journey full of changes. It's not about clinging to what is known and familiar, but about preparing to deal with the unknown in a serene and determined manner. When facing the uncertainty of the future, Marcus Aurelius invites us to look at change with confidence. He questions, "What am I going to do about tomorrow?" answering with the conviction that he will use the same tools he used in the present day. This not only demonstrates acceptance of change, but also confidence in one's own power of adaptation and resilience. Often, the fear of change is rooted in discomfort with the unknown. However, by understanding that we are capable of dealing with any challenge that change brings, we stop fearing it. It's like learning to swim. Once you master the technique, you don't fear unknown waters. Consider, for example, the case of personalities like Elon Musk, an entrepreneur who constantly adapts to market and technological changes. He doesn't see change as a threat, but rather as an opportunity to innovate and grow. His approach aligns with the Stoic mentality of facing changes as an intrinsic part of the journey. Similarly, historical figures like Nelson Mandela faced monumental changes in their lives and countries. Instead of fearing the unknown, he embraced change and led a transformative movement based on the acceptance of political and social changes. Stoic philosophy delves into the idea of indifference not as total detachment, but as serene and prepared acceptance. This mindset doesn't imply the absence of care or concern, but rather the ability to be well, regardless of circumstances. Stoic preparation provides inner freedom, allowing specific preferences about what's to come to be unnecessary. Imagine a Stoic facing the weather. It doesn't matter if it will rain or shine, if it'll be a hot or cold day. These external details don't affect the Stoics' inner peace because they understand they cannot control the weather, only how they react to it. Likewise, a Stoic doesn't let themselves be influenced by others' love or hate. They understand that their actions are the only things under their control and therefore are not shaken by others' opinions. This understanding frees the mind from worries about how they'll be perceived or judged by others. Consider Marcus Aurelius's attitude, seeking moral excellence without concern for external recognition. He wrote in his Meditations about the importance of living in accordance with his principles, regardless of external circumstances. Think of contemporary figures like Malala Yousafzai, whose activism for female education faced adverse opinions and even threats to her life. Her dedication and commitment to her convictions are not shaken by criticism or threats. exemplifying the Stoic mentality of moving forward regardless of external circumstances. The ability to have no specific preferences regarding what's to come doesn't translate into apathy, but rather freedom. It's the freedom to live without the constant need to control external variables, knowing that the true essence of life lies in how we choose to respond to these variables. The Stoic doesn't fear change and doesn't have deep-seated preferences. They cultivate serenity in the face of uncertainties and remain true to their principles, regardless of what life presents them. This mindset, far from being indifferent, is liberating, allowing them to be resilient in the face of challenges and to live according to their inner wisdom. Second, don't sweat the small stuff. Understanding the importance of not worrying about the small things is one of the essential teachings of the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, emphasizes the idea that dedicating energy and attention to insignificant matters is counterproductive. As he says, we're better off not worrying about the small things, those that have no real impact on our path or that are beyond our control. Just like in a sieve, it's necessary to filter what deserves our attention. In a world where we're bombarded by constant information and stimuli, the ability to discern what is truly relevant is a valuable tool. The Stoic understands that focusing on things that don't bring them closer to their goals, that aren't under their control, or that are mere distractions is a waste of precious energy. Think about how this applies to the modern world. The constant flood of notifications, irrelevant news, everyday dramas on social media. It's easy to get lost in these small things, which often don't contribute to our personal growth or to achieving our goals. Warren Buffett, the renowned investor, follows a similar approach. He is known for filtering information and focusing only on the essential to make his investment decisions. Buffett prioritizes his time and energy, concentrating on information that truly matters for his financial success, leaving aside the rest. Another notable example is Oprah Winfrey, whose journey is marked by a remarkable ability to focus on what's significant. She doesn't get involved in trivial controversies or distractions, but channels her energy into social causes and projects that have a real impact on people's lives. Stoic philosophy challenges us to ask ourselves if a particular situation is essential, if it really matters to our goals. If the answer is negative, the Stoic disregards it, letting go of what doesn't contribute to their personal growth or the achievement of their goals. Therefore, not sweating the small stuff doesn't mean ignoring everything, but consciously choosing where to direct our attention and energy. It's a daily exercise in discernment to prioritize what is truly relevant amidst the constant noise of the world around you. Third, don't value others' opinions above your own. The idea of not valuing others' opinions above your own is a fundamental principle of the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius proposes a perceptive exercise in the face of others' criticisms. Upon receiving criticism, he encourages us to reflect on who that person is, what motivates them, their accomplishments. This leads us to realize that the opinions of those who criticize often don't align with our values or goals. Consider how this applies in everyday life. We often receive criticism, whether at work, in our relationships, or on social media. However, these criticisms don't always come from reliable or constructive sources. Stoic philosophy challenges us to consider the origin and intention behind these opinions before allowing them to affect our self-evaluation. An individual who embodies this Stoic principle is Steve Jobs. Despite facing substantial criticism and setbacks in his career, he didn't allow others' opinions to deter his vision or belief in his products. Jobs remained steadfast in his convictions and ended up revolutionizing multiple industries, creating products that transformed how we live and interact with technology. Similarly, think of J.K. Rowling, whose work faced rejection numerous times before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. She persisted despite the opinions of publishers who didn't see the potential in her writing. Rowling valued her own creative vision over others' opinions, ultimately achieving unprecedented success. The Stoic approach isn't about disregarding all feedback, but discerning which opinions are constructive and align with our values and goals. By understanding that not all opinions are equally valuable or relevant, we safeguard our self-worth from being solely determined by external judgment. The Stoic doesn't dismiss feedback outright, but carefully evaluates its source and intent. Constructive criticism that aligns with their goals is welcomed and considered, while baseless or malicious opinions are discarded. The Stoic mindset encourages us to develop a strong sense of self and to be guided by our principles and objectives, rather than swaying with every opinion that comes our way. This inner fortitude allows individuals to stay true to their path, unfazed by the varying opinions of others. Fourth, don't give in to anger. The Stoics advise against giving in to anger, as it clouds judgment and leads to irrational actions. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, compares anger to a temporary madness, emphasizing its disruptive nature in decision-making. Consider how anger affects our lives. In moments of rage, we often act impulsively, saying or doing things we later regret. Stoic philosophy teaches us to acknowledge anger's presence, but not to let it govern our actions. Nelson Mandela serves as an example of someone who managed to control his anger despite facing immense adversity. During his imprisonment, and even after his release, Mandela advocated for reconciliation and forgiveness instead of succumbing to bitterness and anger, ultimately leading his country towards healing and unity. Similarly, Rosa Parks, through her peaceful resistance to racial segregation, didn't yield to anger. Her composed demeanor and firm stance against injustice became a symbol of strength and resilience, showcasing the power of peaceful resistance over reactive anger. The Stoic approach to anger doesn't mean suppressing emotions, but rather acknowledging them and responding with reason and clarity. By not allowing anger to dictate actions, individuals can make more rational decisions, fostering harmony and understanding even in challenging situations. Acknowledging anger's presence without letting it overpower one's actions is a sign of inner strength and self-control. Stoic philosophy teaches the importance of responding to situations with a clear mind and reasoned actions rather than being swayed by turbulent emotions. Fifth, don't dwell on past mistakes. The Stoic philosophy encourages us not to dwell on past mistakes, but to view them as opportunities for growth. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, advises acknowledging past mistakes but not allowing them to define our present or future. Reflect on how this applies to our lives. Often, we get trapped in the cycle of regret, dwelling on past decisions or actions that we cannot change. Stoicism teaches us to accept the past for what it is, an immutable aspect of our journey, and to focus on what we can control, the present moment. Michael Jordan, regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, faced numerous failures and setbacks in his career. His mindset was aligned with Stoic principles. He didn't let past mistakes or missed shots deter his focus. Instead, he used those experiences as fuel for improvement, ultimately achieving unparalleled success. Another example is Oprah Winfrey, who faced multiple challenges in her early career, including setbacks and professional failures. Rather than dwelling on these setbacks, she used them as learning opportunities, shaping her journey towards becoming an influential media personality. Stoicism teaches us not to be consumed by regrets, but to use past mistakes as lessons for growth. By accepting our past actions and learning from them, we can move forward with a clearer vision and a stronger resolve to improve ourselves. The Stoic perspective acknowledges that mistakes are an inevitable part of life's journey. Instead of letting them weigh us down, Stoicism encourages us to extract wisdom from these experiences and use them as stepping stones toward personal development. Sixth, don't worry about things beyond your control. The Stoics emphasize the futility of worrying about things beyond our control. Epictetus famously stated, "Some things are within our power, while others are not." This fundamental principle guides Stoic philosophy, focusing only on what we can influence and accepting what lies beyond our control. Consider how this aligns with everyday situations. Often, we worry about external factors or events beyond our sphere of influence. This worry leads to anxiety and stress, detracting from our ability to focus on things within our control. A contemporary example is Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, who embodies this Stoic principle. Bezos prioritizes his energy and attention on aspects within his control, such as customer experience and innovation, rather than being consumed by external market fluctuations or opinions. Similarly, think of Serena Williams, a tennis legend who faced numerous challenges and setbacks in her career. Instead of worrying about external factors like her opponents or crowd opinions, Williams focused on perfecting her game and mental resilience, elements within her control, ultimately becoming one of the greatest athletes in tennis history. Stoicism teaches us to discern between what we can control and what we cannot. By letting go of concerns about external events or opinions, individuals can channel their energy towards actions and attitudes that pave the way for personal growth and success. This Stoic mindset doesn't advocate for apathy, but rather encourages a pragmatic approach to life, focusing efforts on what we can change and accepting with grace what we cannot. Seventh, don't pursue material possessions obsessively. The Stoics caution against obsessively pursuing material possessions, emphasizing the transience of such desires. Seneca, in his writings, highlights the danger of placing excessive value on material wealth, as it often leads to discontent and perpetual striving without true fulfillment. Reflect on how this aligns with contemporary society. We're often bombarded with messages urging us to acquire more, to keep up with trends, or to accumulate wealth as a measure of success. However, the Stoic philosophy invites us to re-evaluate these pursuits and their true impact on our well-being. Warren Buffett, despite being one of the wealthiest individuals globally, lives a modest lifestyle. He advocates for sensible spending and emphasizes the importance of investing in oneself rather than acquiring excessive material possessions. Similarly, consider minimalists like Marie Kondo, whose philosophy centers on decluttering and keeping only items that spark joy. Kondo's approach aligns with Stoic principles by advocating for mindful consumption and finding contentment in simplicity. The Stoic perspective on material possessions doesn't reject wealth or comfort outright, but emphasizes the importance of not allowing possessions to dictate our happiness or sense of fulfillment. By practicing moderation and detachment from material desires, individuals can achieve a sense of contentment and freedom from the constant pursuit of wealth. Eighth, do not seek external approval. The pursuit of external approval is one of the key themes addressed by Stoic philosophy, as emphasized by Epictetus. He reminds us that when we place our happiness and autonomy in external approval, we are actually relinquishing control over our own lives. This is a fundamental idea in Stoicism, distinguishing what is within our control from what isn't, including how we assess ourselves and define our success. Let's consider the life of Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, who often faced criticism for his business approach and design. However, Jobs remained true to his vision and convictions, not allowing the quest for external approval to shape his decisions or undermine his confidence in his work and ideas. Another notable example is Serena Williams, one of the greatest tennis players of all time. She encountered criticism and prejudice throughout her career, but never allowed the pursuit of external approval to deter her from her goals or emotionally shake her. Instead, she focused on her training, determination, and passion for the sport. Stoic philosophy challenges us not to let our self-worth be determined by others' opinions. This doesn't mean ignoring constructive feedback, but rather cultivating a solid internal self-esteem based on our own values and principles. The lesson lies in finding internal validation, recognizing that our authenticity and merit shouldn't be measured by what others think or approve. It's about maintaining integrity, trusting our own decisions, and living according to our values, regardless of external opinions. The Stoic notion of finding internal validation, as mentioned by Epictetus, deeply resonates in the personal journey of numerous notable figures. Let's look at Maya Angelou, a writer and activist whose life was marked by adversities and triumphs. She didn't let external opinions define her. Her quest for truth and authenticity was an internal journey, reflected in her powerful words and dedication to social justice. Another inspiring example is Elon Musk, a visionary entrepreneur who faced numerous criticisms and disbelief at the beginning of his ventures. However, he remained steadfast in his vision and internal validation of his groundbreaking ideas, leading him to found companies like Tesla and SpaceX, transforming entire industries. Stoic philosophy challenges us to cultivate our own standards and metrics, to evaluate what is truly important to us. This implies not relying on external sources for our self-esteem, success, or happiness, but finding these values and validations within ourselves. Therefore, the lesson lies in building a solid internal foundation, where our achievements and self-worth derive from a deep understanding of our own values, aspirations, and accomplishments, rather than solely relying on external recognition or validation. It's about finding the true measure of success and happiness within ourselves, regardless of fluctuations in external opinions.